the forbidden revelation. Listen closely. If this video has found you, it is not an accident. This is not just another random clip in your feed. Something or someone has led you here. You may feel it already, that strange pull inside your chest, as if you've been summoned without knowing why. And there's a reason for that. Thousands of years ago, deep within the temples of ancient Chem, what you now call Egypt, a god walked among men. His name was Thoth, the keeper of secrets, the master of time, the one who recorded the hidden laws of the universe. And within his forbidden writings, he left a message, not for kings, not for priests, not for scholars, for you, right here, right now. Because whether you realize it or not, you are standing at a crossroad in your life, a moment where one decision, one single choice, can alter the entire path of your future. And this is the part they never wanted you to know. The Egyptian high priests guarded Thoth's teachings for centuries because he discovered something terrifying. The future isn't fixed. Destiny can be rewritten, but only if you awaken at the exact right moment in time. That moment is this one. Brief pause, let the weight of the words settle. The message Thoth left behind is simple but unsettling. One day, the you from the future will try to reach back through the river of time to deliver a warning, and if you hear it and act, you will change everything. Think about that for a moment. What if this isn't just a video? What if this is the exact signal your future self has been trying to send you for years? What if this is the reason you've been feeling restless, lost, like something in your life isn't aligned? Because deep down, you already know it's true. You felt it, that gnawing sense that you're meant for more, that there's a version of you, out there in the timelines ahead, who is stronger, freer, and completely unrecognizable from who you are today. But here's the thing, that version of you doesn't exist by accident. They exist because they made the choice you've been avoiding for years. And Thoth's prophecy warns us of something chilling. Only those who awaken when called step into the higher path. The rest remain bound, trapped in endless repetition until time itself forgets them. Right now, you're being called. This is why this message found you. This is why you feel your heart pounding as you listen to these words. It's not random, it's not coincidence. This is the signal. But here's the catch. Thoth's writings also speak of a danger, a warning so powerful the priests tried to bury it. They called it the one-time gate, a single moment, a fleeting doorway between two lives, one where you remain exactly as you are, stuck, distracted, repeating the same cycles, and another where you awaken, become everything you were meant to be, and step into the path your future self has been trying to guide you toward. But this gate opens only once. Miss it, and the signal fades. Ignore it, and the path closes forever. That's why Thoth's message isn't gentle. It's not comforting. It's not safe. It's a warning. If you keep doing what you're doing, you already know where it leads. You've seen it. You've lived it. You've felt the emptiness, scrolling through endless distractions, numbing your spirit while your real destiny waits, silenced in the dark. This is why you're here. This is why you've been brought to this moment. Because the message Thoth left, the message your future self is trying to send you, starts now. What you do next will decide everything. The prophecy of time. In the ancient city of Hermopolis, hidden deep within the temples carved into the desert stone, Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, writing, and time, worked on a secret so powerful that even the pharaohs feared it. He discovered something the ancient world wasn't ready to accept. Time is not a straight line. The past, the present, the future, they are threads of the same tapestry, interwoven and connected. Every thought, every choice, every action, ripples through existence, shaping not just where you are, but who you become. Thoth believed there are infinite versions of you, living infinite timelines. But here's the catch. Most people never access their higher paths. They stay stuck in loops, repeating the same habits, making the same mistakes, trapped inside what Thoth called the wheel of forgetting. And yet, within his forbidden texts, he spoke of a rare phenomenon, a signal from your future self, sent backward through time. Not everyone receives it, only those standing at a critical point in their lives, a moment where a single decision has the power to change everything. The prophecy says this: one day the you who has broken free will send a message to the you who is still trapped. It sounds impossible, but modern science now whispers the same possibility, that your consciousness isn't bound by time. Your future self already exists. They've lived through the storms, they've conquered the obstacles, they've walked the path you're afraid to take, and they are reaching back, right now, trying to guide you toward the life you're supposed to be living. That's why this video has found you. It isn't random, it isn't coincidence. You've arrived here because you've been summoned. But here's where the prophecy turns dark. Thoth warned that when this signal reaches you, it tests you. The universe opens a fleeting doorway, what he called the moment of alignment. This is the moment when your present and your highest possible future are perfectly connected. A single decision, a single shift in action, can move you toward your higher path or lock you deeper inside the loop forever. And most people fail this test. Thoth claimed that 99 out of 100 ignore the message. They nod, they feel inspired for a moment, and then they go right back to the patterns destroying them. Not because they're weak, but because they're asleep. That's why he called this the sleep of the spirit. A state where you're alive, but you're not awake. You've felt it, haven't you? The restless scrolling, the endless distractions, the constant noise drowning out the quiet voice inside you that's been whispering the truth all along. You're meant for more. And Thoth believed that if you're hearing this message right now, it means you're standing at the edge of awakening. Your future self is already living the life you secretly dream about, but the only way to get there is to break the loops now. Thoth left one final warning in his writings. Do not ignore the signal. Those who delay, remain trapped. Those who choose, become infinite. This is why this moment matters. Because right now, your future self is calling to you, begging you to act, begging you to choose, begging you to finally step into the version of yourself that refuses to settle. The prophecy isn't about fate, it's about alignment, it's about action, it's about realizing that you, and only you, decide whether you stay asleep or finally wake. The message from your future self. Take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear is not from me, it's from you. Not the you sitting here right now, but the one who's already broken free. The version of yourself that Thoth spoke of. The version that made the choice you've been avoiding for years. They've been trying to reach you. Every time you've felt restless, every time you've questioned your path, every time you've stared at the ceiling late at night knowing something has to change. That was them whispering to you through the threads of time. And today, you finally answered. Your future self wants you to know this. I remember the exact moment I became free. It was the day I stopped lying to myself. You've been pretending, haven't you? Pretending that everything is fine, pretending the distractions, the habits, and the choices don't matter. But deep down, you know they do. You already know the friendships that are draining your energy. You already know the habits that are keeping you small. You already know the truth you've been running from. Your future self isn't here to judge you. They're here to wake you up, because they remember what it feels like to be stuck, the endless cycle of wanting change but doing nothing. They remember wasting precious days, scrolling, waiting, dreaming, but never acting. And they're begging you not to stay here any longer. Listen carefully, your future self is not some distant fantasy. They're real. They've already walked the path you're afraid to take. They know the storms you'll face, the doubts you'll wrestle with, and the pain you'll have to endure. But they also know something you've forgotten. You're capable of far more than you believe. Right now, you feel trapped, but you're not. You feel small, but you're not. You feel powerless, but Thoth's prophecy says otherwise. Your future self sees the version of you who chose courage instead of comfort, discipline instead of distraction, alignment instead of chaos. And here's the truth they need you to hear. That version of you doesn't just happen by accident. They happen because, at some point, you decide you're done living like this. There's no secret coming to save you. There's no perfect moment waiting ahead. There is only now, and the choices you make in this moment will decide everything. Your future self is screaming through the river of time. Please, stop delaying. Stop making excuses. Stop pretending tomorrow is guaranteed. Because here's what they remember most clearly: the regret of waiting, the pain of knowing they stayed trapped longer than they needed to. The years wasted living someone else's life, following someone else's rules, believing someone else's limits. And then, one day, they woke up. They made the choice that terrified them the most, and that's when everything changed. I know you felt the whispers, the quiet voice inside you saying, "You're meant for more." You've ignored it before, but ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It just buries you deeper into the loops Thoth warned us about, the loops where years pass and nothing inside you truly changes. Your future self is proof that there's another path, a life where you feel alive again, a life where you stop watching from the sidelines and start becoming who you were always meant to be. But here's the warning Thoth left behind. This message only comes once, ignore it, and the signal fades. Delay it, and the doorway closes. This moment, right now, is your turning point. It's not about motivation, it's not about luck, it's about alignment. Your future self is standing on the other side, hand outstretched, begging you to choose. Because once you do, everything begins to shift. Everything you've been searching for starts with this moment, the awakening. This is the moment Thoth spoke of. The moment where the threads of time align, where your present self and your highest possible future stand face to face for the first time. You've felt it already, haven't you? That strange pull in your chest. That quiet voice whispering inside your mind, telling you there's more to life than this. You've ignored it before, we all have. But this time is different. This time, the voice doesn't fade. Thoth called this moment the Great Crossing. It is the point where your spirit wakes up and realizes that your entire life, up until now, has been shaped by patterns you didn't choose. Think about it. How many of your choices are truly your own? How many of your beliefs, your fears, your doubts were given to you, passed down by others, installed by systems designed to keep you obedient, distracted, and asleep? Thoth warned us about this prison of the mind. He called it the sleep of the spirit, a state where you exist, but you do not truly live. The awakening begins the moment you realize you don't have to keep playing this role. You don't have to keep repeating the same patterns. You don't have to stay trapped in the life someone else designed for you. Listen closely. Everything you've ever wanted, the freedom, the peace, the power, the deeper meaning you've been searching for, it's already inside you. It always has been. The problem isn't that you're not capable. The problem is that you've been conditioned to forget who you are. But right now, your future self is reaching back through the threads of time, trying to shake you awake. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not too late, but you must choose. And that choice is the test. Thoth's prophecy says the universe opens a fleeting doorway only a handful of times in your life, a moment where your energy, your destiny, and your potential align perfectly. It doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly, as a single decision disguised as ordinary life. The decision to stay or to walk away. The decision to keep scrolling or to start creating. The decision to keep repeating the past or finally break free. And here's the terrifying part. Most people never walk through the doorway. Thoth said, only 1 in 100 will hear the signal and act. The rest, they'll nod, they'll feel inspired for a few minutes, and then they'll slide right back into the same loops, the same distractions, the same excuses, the same unfulfilled existence. But you wouldn't be here if you weren't meant to wake up. This is not random. This isn't coincidence. The very fact that you're listening to these words means the signal has reached you. This is your crossroad. This is your great crossing. And there are only 2 paths ahead. The first is the familiar one, the one where nothing changes, the one where 5 years from now, you're still wrestling with the same habits, the same doubts, the same quiet sadness. The second is unknown. It's terrifying. It's uncomfortable. But it's also where everything you want lives. And that's the one your future self is begging you to choose. Understand this. Awakening isn't about suddenly knowing all the answers. It's about finally realizing you have the power to ask the right questions. It's about looking at your life and saying, I will no longer live on autopilot. Because the truth is, you already know the things that are breaking you. You already know the distractions that are stealing your time. You already know the people who aren't meant to walk with you into your next chapter. The awakening is the moment you stop pretending you don't see the truth. This is why your future self sent the signal. Because they know what happens if you stay asleep. They've seen the years wasted, the potential buried, the dreams you were too afraid to chase. But they've also seen the other path. The one where you finally decide to choose yourself, to choose discipline, to choose the unknown. And in doing so, you become unrecognizable to the person you are today. That life already exists. It's waiting for you, but only you can step into it. This is your awakening. This is your chance. This is the message you weren't supposed to hear, and now, you can't unhear it. The forbidden warning. There's a reason you've never been told this before, because once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Once you see it, your reality changes forever. Thoth left behind many teachings, but hidden among them was a sealed warning, a message encrypted within his scrolls, one that the ancient priests swore no uninitiated soul should ever read. Why? Because they believed humanity wasn't ready. They feared that if the masses understood this knowledge, the very structure of power, religion, and control would collapse overnight. And yet, here you are, listening, exactly as Thoth intended. This is the warning. There will come a time when the voices of the future will call out to the present, and only those who remember will survive what's coming. At first, it sounds poetic, harmless, but when decoded, it's far more dangerous. Thoth wasn't talking about words, he was talking about timelines. You see, according to his encrypted texts, reality is not fixed. Your past, your present, and your future, they all coexist, like overlapping pages in the same book. Most people live blind, believing the page they're on is the only one that exists. But Thoth warned that a moment will come where those pages will tear open, and some will hear the whispers of their future selves calling back. For most, it will drive them to madness. For a few, it will awaken them. And here's the part they didn't want you to know. Thoth wrote that in times of great chaos, wars, collapsing systems, and shifting consciousness, humanity reaches a crossroads. Two paths split open. One path leads to enslavement, to blindly follow the noise, the illusions, the manufactured distractions designed to keep you asleep. The other path, it leads to remembering, accessing the silent knowledge buried deep within you, the kind of memory that isn't taught but remembered at the level of your soul. This is why you're here, not by accident. If this video found you, it's because something inside you is already awakening. But Thoth warned of a trap, a silent enemy hidden in plain sight, a force that thrives on your forgetfulness. It doesn't attack you directly, it feeds on your attention, your time, your energy, until one day, you look in the mirror and realize you've become everything they wanted you to be, obedient, exhausted, disconnected from your higher self, and that's when it wins. Thoth called this force the Great Veil. It isn't a person, and it isn't a single event. It's a system, a cycle, a design so ancient and precise that most people will never notice it until it's too late. The veil keeps you locked in fear, doubt, and distraction, ensuring you never awaken to the power that's already inside you. But here's the real danger. Once you become aware of it, the veil will fight back. You'll notice strange synchronicities, sudden setbacks, people in your life questioning your choices. It will try to pull you back into comfort, into conformity, into the illusion. That's the final test, because the moment you resist, the moment you step beyond fear, everything changes. And this, Thoth said, is why his warning was forbidden. If too many people awaken at once, the old systems of control crumble. The world as you know it, the version built on lies, cannot survive an awakened humanity. This isn't just a prophecy, it's a choice. Right now, in this moment, your future self is calling to you, whispering, guiding, urging you to remember who you are before the veil consumes you. So ask yourself, are you awake enough to listen, or will you keep pretending you didn't hear this? The one-time choice. Thoth spoke of a moment, a single moment in your life where everything changes, if you choose. He called it the one-time choice. It is not about success, wealth, or power. It's far deeper than that. It's the choice between awakening and remaining asleep, between reclaiming your free will or surrendering it forever. Most people never realize when this moment arrives. They scroll past it, they laugh it off, they distract themselves. But Thoth warned that once it passes, it never comes again. The subtle arrival, the choice doesn't appear as a glowing sign. It's quiet. It might come in the middle of a sleepless night, when a strange unease grips your chest. It might come while you're stuck in traffic, staring blankly out the window, questioning everything. It might come through a random video, a line in a book, or a whisper in a dream. Thoth called these echoes, fragments from your future self, trying to break through the noise, urging you to pay attention. The moment feels ordinary on the surface, but something in you knows, if I ignore this, I will regret it forever. And most people ignore it. Why most people fail the test. Thoth revealed something unsettling about humanity. Man does not choose ignorance. He simply chooses comfort, and ignorance follows. We cling to the familiar, the routines, the distractions, the constant noise, even when it chains us. Because awakening isn't comfortable. It requires questioning everything. Why do I feel empty even when I have enough? Why do I keep chasing approval from people who don't even care? Why does it feel like time is accelerating, and I'm losing control? The one-time choice forces you to confront these questions, and when it comes, there are only two paths. The path of sleep, you scroll away. You convince yourself this isn't important. Life continues, but something inside quietly withers. The path of awakening, you lean in, you listen, you act, and from that moment forward, you cannot return to who you were. The fracture of timelines. Here's where Thoth revelation turns stranger. He claimed that your life doesn't move in a straight line. Instead, it branches. Every decision you make creates another version of you, another timeline. But the one-time choice is different. It's not just another fork in the road. It's the final lock on which reality you'll live in. If you choose ignorance, your future self ceases to reach you. The guidance stops. If you choose awareness, your future self aligns with you. You begin to receive insights, coincidences, and impossible synchronicities, nudges guiding you toward the life you were meant to live. Thoth called this the convergence, signs you're standing at the edge. Not everyone is given this moment, but if you're reading this, it's not random. There are signs you've reached the threshold. You've been feeling an unexplained restlessness lately, as if your current life isn't enough. Time feels like it's moving faster than before. Days, months, even years vanish. You've noticed strange patterns, repeated numbers, recurring dreams, uncanny coincidences. A quiet voice inside you whispers, "This isn't all there is. These aren't accidents. These are summons." The weight of responsibility. Thoth's warning was clear. Do not ask for awakening if you are not willing to carry its weight. Awareness isn't a free gift, it's a responsibility. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you cannot unknow. You'll begin to notice the manipulation in the systems around you. You'll feel the weight of the choices you make. You'll recognize how fragile, precious, and fleeting your existence truly is. But within that weight comes freedom. The freedom to live intentionally. The freedom to step off the path laid out for you and carve your own. The door that closes forever. Here's the part most people ignore. This isn't an invitation that stays open. Thoth said the universe does not wait. If the door opens and you turn away, it does not return. For you have chosen your slumber, and slumber will claim you. That's why this is called the one-time choice. It's rare, it's irreversible, and it's now. Your future self is waiting. The reason you found this message isn't coincidence. Your future self is pulling you toward this moment, hoping you recognize it. It knows the path you're on. It knows the price of ignoring this call. It also knows the power you hold, the kind of power humanity has forgotten. Right now, you're standing at the crossroad. Thoth spoke of thousands of years ago. There will be no second warning. One path leads to the life handed to you. The other leads to the life you were born for. The choice is yours. Wake up. If you've made it this far, there's a reason. Some part of you, deep inside, knows this message was meant for you. Not for the masses. Not for everyone.
You!
Thoth didn't leave these revelations scattered through time for entertainment. He left them as warnings and as choices. This is where the story ends for most people. They'll close this video, scroll to the next distraction, and fall right back into the sleep they've been living in for years. They'll keep repeating the same patterns. They'll keep chasing validation, drowning in overthinking, ignoring their intuition, and one day, they'll wake up and realize their life wasn't theirs at all. But you're not here by accident. The very fact that you've stayed until this moment tells me one thing. You're already listening to that inner voice that whispers when the world gets loud. That is your future self. That is the messenger Thoth spoke about. And right now, it's begging you. Do not ignore this calling. The decision that changes everything. Here's the brutal truth. You are always one decision away from a completely different life. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. The world has convinced you that you have time. That you can waste your days scrolling, waiting, hesitating. And eventually, things will work themselves out. But Thoth's message couldn't be clearer. Time is the illusion keeping you trapped. If you do nothing today, if you choose comfort over transformation, the future you dream of will never arrive. And your future self, the version of you who could have built the life you crave, will fade into silence. But if you choose differently, right here, right now, if you choose to wake up, to act, to become the architect of your reality, everything changes. Not gradually, not one day, immediately. Because awareness is transformation. The moment you decide, your path begins to bend. The moment you say enough, you step into the timeline where you become unstoppable. The final warning. Thoth's teachings are layered in riddles, but his warning is simple. Those who hear the call and ignore it will not be given a second chance. You're living in one of the most critical chapters of human history, a time when distractions are designed to keep you blind, when society thrives on keeping you comfortable, entertained, and quiet. But comfort is the cage, silence is the surrender, and Thoth's message is the key. This isn't just a video, it's an invitation, one that most people will reject because the truth is too heavy to hold. But for the few who accept it, everything changes. So ask yourself right now, are you here to consume, or are you here to transform? Because there is no middle ground anymore. Your future self is waiting. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the version of you 10 years from now. Do they look proud? Do they look free? Do they look alive? Or do they look back at you with regret, whispering, "Why didn't you listen when you had the chance?" The truth is that future self already exists. Both versions of you do, the one who wakes up and the one who stays asleep. And right now, this second, you are choosing which one you will meet. That's the one-time choice Thoth warned about. There are no riddles. There are no second chances. This moment decides. Call to action. But bigger. If this message reached you, don't let it fade. You found this video for a reason, or maybe it found you. Either way, this is where it begins. Like this video, not for me, but as a promise to yourself, I choose the path of awakening. Comment below with the words, "I am awake." It's not just engagement, it's a declaration. Subscribe if you want to keep receiving these messages, because I'll keep uncovering what's hidden. And trust me, this was only the first layer. But most importantly, act. Don't just nod along. Don't just agree. Do something today. Your future self will thank you for. Because Thoth's warning is clear. Ignore this, and the window closes. You are not here by accident. You are here because the universe, your future self, and Thoth's ancient message aligned, to give you a chance, to wake you up, to put the pen back in your hand, so you can write the next chapter. The question is simple, will you? Or will you scroll to the next video, and stay asleep? The choice is yours, but understand this, you will live with it forever.